Once again, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It's good to have you with us today as we kick off a new year in the Profitable Florist Club. Welcome to all of our new members, and let's dive in. I want to welcome you back. Some of you are new members for this year, and many of you are coming back. And just a very quick history. This originally started as a program back in March when we went on lockdown. And it was called the Bounce Back Program, and we were going to bring it to an end in June. And so many members reached out and said, "I like the dynamic. I like interacting with people. I like the feedback. I like the energy." So we morphed it into this program, the Profitable Florist Club, and again, it was such a success that here we are for a full year. So we're really glad to have you. We're really excited, and we're happy to have more members. Because the more members, the richer the program for everybody. Everybody knows me. I'm not going to take the time to tell you my backstory. If you don't know it by this point, we'll share it with you another time. Don is with us. Many of you have spoken to Don. He probably registered many of you. He's been with the company for a couple of years. His role is the education coordinator, and he's going to be kind of riding along with me today to help orchestrate the just the dynamics, because we have so many people who are with us today. We have worked on evolving the program and updating it and changing it and improving it based on feedback from you. So I'm happy to share those with you. But again, I want to say extend a warm welcome to everybody who is with us for the first time, whether you're with us live or you're watching the recording afterwards. So here's what we've got going on. Every one of our meetings, stretching back to June, is recorded. It's easily accessible. You just click on one of these sessions and you can watch it like a YouTube video. It's really simple. We also make a PDF of all of the slides, so you can go back and scribble notes on the actual picture that you see on the page. I think that's a helpful element. We had talked about, and we have the software for, and we will launch text messages like I live and do so much of my business on my phone, and that's always the easiest way to reach people. So we're not going to go overboard with it, but what we're going to do is kind of ease into it, and we're going to start with a trial and send you like a mid-month text message and maybe a text message a week or so before the meeting, just so it doesn't slip off your calendar and just so you're there to join us. I'm going to be doing some of the talking, but the whole structure of this webinar meeting, unlike all the other webinars I do, is I really don't want to do the talking. I want to have you involved. The idea, the way I envisioned this, quite honestly, was almost like a Facebook group, but where we're talking to each other instead of typing. So interaction is important. But that said, we are going to have some guest speakers sprinkled throughout the year. We have a pretty eclectic group. I'll give you the names once I get their schedules finalized, but we want to make it really broad and kind of eclectic. So we're going to go from the like super nerdy tech end of it to the design end, and some of the things that you've been asking for, in particular event plannings and weddings, because those are coming back, and members felt like we didn't go deeply enough into that. So I'm happy to do that. We do want you to kind of keep in touch with us throughout. I know you're busy. I get that. However, we have a Facebook group. We'll give you my email address later as well, just to kind of keep the dialogue going. So if a question pops into your head, you have an idea, you think, oh, you know what, I want to present this to Tim and have us dig deeper into it, by all means, share it there, and we'll import it into this session. And what we're doing is trying to make this, again, more of a round table experience. So that said, what's important is that when you do join us in the future, if you haven't done it today, that you're using the right equipment. And simply put, if you are joining us on a laptop today, there undoubtedly is a built-in microphone, and you're going to be able to speak. We're going to unmute you in a couple of minutes. If you're on a desktop in your store, there probably isn't a microphone. They may not even have speakers. Well, hopefully there's speakers, but then you need to dial in on the phone. Again, we don't want you to just be the voyeur and just sit there and watch. We want you to play an active role. But we've got more coming, more services, more exciting elements. We'll share those with you as the year evolves. If you haven't seen this already, this is our schedule for the entire year. And I promise you, barring some kind of biblical level weather event, that we will abide by this schedule. What I did was I bounced between Tuesdays and Wednesdays, just in case you're always off on one day. It's not going to disrupt your schedule too much or force you to be working on a day off. And I kind of steered around the holidays as well. So on the technical end, before I have Don unmute everybody, for those of you who haven't done one of our webinars, here's the deal. Right now, everybody is muted. What we're going to do, fingers crossed and optimism high, is we're going to unmute you, okay? So what that means is your mic is going to be open, whether you're on a laptop or whether you're using a phone. So I'm going to hear everything behind you. What we need you to do is stay muted. We'll unmute you on our end. You've got to mute yourself on your end. And the easiest way to do that is next to your name, there is an icon. It either looks like a little microphone like you see here because you're on a laptop, or it looks like a little handset on a telephone because you're calling in. You have to click on that and make it red. And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm talking like a kindergarten teacher, but I've been doing webinars like this for 10 years, and the bigger the group, the stronger the likelihood of somebody not doing this. And I just don't want to waste my time and yours asking people, hey, Kelly, can you mute yourself? Or Stephanie, we can hear everything that's going on in your store. And if that is the case, this is part of the reason why I've done here. We're just going to mute you. You're going to have to type in a message. Anyway, again, don't want to sound crabby, but that's what we want to do. So Don is going to start unmuting everybody momentarily, and then again, just take a moment and mute yourself. Okay, Don, if you would jump in and start doing that, and Don, you're welcome to say hello to the group. Everybody should recognize your voice.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate all the support. We're looking forward to a profitable 2021 with you.
All right, so here's our agenda for today. We're shaking things up a little bit. We have a slightly altered format from last year. We're going to give a quick recap on a couple of things that we did together last year. We have a new feature called the Big Question, and it's about disruption. I'm going to pose a question to you every month for you to ask somebody in your business realm, whether it's okay. Sorry about that. Don accidentally muted me. Whether it's a supplier, whether it's a vendor, whether it's your staff, but we're going to give you a question to really kind of get you thinking. And we want 2021 to be a year of continued change and growth. We all learned quite a few lessons coming through pandemic, and we want to kind of ride that high. New in your shop is dealing with something that I've seen in my travels, whether it is a product, an item, a service that I maybe see another flower shop selling that I think you might want to sell in your store. Florists are constantly asking me this question. What are other people selling? What are other things I can offer? So we'll kind of continue to drip feed those kind of ideas to you. Unfortunately, our speaker, Derek Myers, can't be with us today. At the last minute, they changed his state licensing test. It's an all-day test that he has to be in. He's obligated to take that today and tomorrow. Nevertheless, in our preparation for this workshop, I did get all the materials from him. So I'll share with you his ideas, and I'll explain who he is. Last month, we started kicking around Valentine planning. I know people typically don't want to talk or think about that in December. Nevertheless, that's where we started. So we'll get you caught up to speed, and we'll jump into round two. I want to turn the mic over to you and tell what are you thinking? What's going on? What are some questions that you maybe want feedback from the group? You'll be able to do that. There's a new service that Floral Strategies is launching for the new year, and I'm happy to share that with you and give you a little bit of insight. It's some interesting innovation. As far as I know, there's nobody else doing anything quite like it. And then we kind of pull it all together by giving you a very simple to-do list, so you are not just hearing or listening to what's going on today, but working on getting prepared, best prepared for the next meeting. So I'm really happy that we're going to have new speakers, new topics. And what we're also going to do, and this was another thing that was asked by a number of members, is we're going to dig deeper into further planning. In other words, not talking about Valentine's Day the month before it, but we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving, for instance, in the summer. So we're going to back up the holiday planning quite a bit. Also, we're really happy to have such an eclectic group. We have shops from North America. We have shops from England, Australia, New Zealand, basically the English-speaking world with us. That said, a lot of the contacts that I'm going to give you are based here in North America. And it inevitably, some of the content has a little bit of a North American bias. So we're sensitive to the fact that we've got a multicultural group, but just be we know you're out there, and we appreciate that you're maybe even dealing with a wacky time to be joining us. So on the very briefest of levels, a recap for 2020 is to log in if you haven't watched it already. Take a look at what we did last month in some preliminary planning for Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day is definitely the hot topic in the industry right now because nobody knows what's going to happen. There's the old school thinking of, oh, it's a Sunday, it's going to be a bomb. There's the new school thinking of, holy cow, we had such an amazing Mother's Day, we had such a crazy Christmas. So who the heck knows what's going to happen? So we'll see how that goes. Also, we encourage you to go back and play the sessions from last year. There are a couple of things that we did last year that we're not doing this year, and we're going to change those around. So that's important. And what we'll do is we'll tell you where. Actually, it's very simple to find all of the archives. We email that to you. It's in the Facebook group. We kind of bombard you with them, and it's all in one simple folder, so everyone will have access to it. We have in that same archive some bonus workshops and a couple different titles, and we're giving those to you for free. You have access. You can watch them. You can download them. They normally would cost $50 a pop. And then finally, one of the aspects of the program last year was I dove into my iPad, and I've got lots and lots of pictures of my travels to flower shops, and I share with you just cool things that I saw, ideas about merchandising, marketing, a bunch of different things. So we'll share those with you. Don, I just want to check in with you. Is everybody unmuted at this point? It's suspiciously quiet. I just want to make sure everyone's unmuted. Don? Hello, Don.
I've done this a couple times. Unmute all.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. One more time.
Yeah.
One more time. What'd you say? Just repeat yourself, Don. You're breaking up.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry.
Unmute
What did
everyone,
you say?
but
Okay. You have a horrible internet
I
connection.
have tried a couple of times.
Right. And they're not unmuted. Okay. You know what, Don? You can jump off. I'll take over.
I don't think so.
Okay. You can jump off. Thanks, Don. Okay, everybody, just bear with me half a second. I apologize. As you can hear, Don is having some internet issues, so I'm just going to quickly go and unmute everybody. Just take a second. And it's one of the frustrations of the software. I wish it were easier, but it's not. All right. So, all right, there we go. Bruce, you're unmuted, so please mute yourself.
Hello, it's Bruce from Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Hey, Bruce, did you have a question?
And Brenda's here as well.
Okay.
We're prepared for a huge Valentine's. We're kind of on lockdown here. We have curbside service. Our internet was phenomenal for Christmas. And again, I'm anticipating that Valentine's will be, very similar. And time will tell. And I'm glad to be part of the group.
Good. I appreciate it. So if you just go mute again, then we'll be all set. So and if somebody's trying to talk and I can't hear you, there's a little icon you can click to raise your hand. Steve Cohn, your mic is live, so if you want to unmute yourself, or mute yourself, please.
I'd like to. This is Nancy from the Flower Bar in Longmont. How are you?
And so it begins. Hello, my friend Nancy. How are you?
Of course, I always have to talk. So
Okay.
like Bruce, we're not in official lockdown, but we're very, very concerned. The cases have, tripled and tripled again in our
Absolutely.
area. So
Yeah.
we're not letting people come into the store, and we're just basically doing everything, remotely and so forth. I'm anticipating Valentine's Day to be up about 30% based on what our fall was
Okay.
like and holiday.
Sure.
And
No,
my
that's good. Go
and my
ahead.
big issue is I'm just trying to figure out how to get it all to happen because I have a fair amount of space, but I basically only have enough room for so many people to be working.
So
And
Nancy, do me a favor if you would.
uh-huh.
Hold on to that thought because I actually have that as a topic for group discussion a little
Okay.
bit later in the program because yes, we're all kind of eagerly watching the news, wondering what's happening and wondering yes, are we back to April and so yes, it's definitely a hot topic and we'll all be able to kind of jump in and share thoughts and ideas on that. But it's good to hear your voice and Happy New Year. All right.
Stephen from Adrian's in Noblesville, Indiana.
Hi there.
Hi there. We're getting ready for this. Got a lot of glassware already in. Flowers
Okay.
are ordered. The issue, I've got the drivers kind of organized. Issue is finding designers because I had 3 Mother's Day that helped us for Valentine's last year that kind of, I don't think so. I'm kind of worried about this. So we're going to have that problem again. I'll sent the invitation out, but that's where we're at. Okay.
Yep. And then for everybody, if you would just sit tight on your Valentine comments, we're going to get to that shortly. I know it's something that we're all concerned about and everyone's wants to chat about it, but we will get there. This is part of the program, so not to worry. Okay. And everybody else, please make sure that you are muted. I just don't want to spend a quarter of our time today repeating that.
You have regular within a regular mini tab?
Yeah. Joanne McKenzie, you're okay. So let's talk about this big question. And this is I'm excited about this new aspect of the program. As I said, what I want to be able to do here is kind of challenge you with a question to turn around and ask of somebody in your work realm. So here's the question for January. Talk to your wholesalers, talk to your suppliers, talk to your vendors, and just ask them flat out, hey, what are you guys selling to my competitors? What are you selling to the other flower shops around me in my part of the state, my part of the province, my part of the country that you're not selling to me? That's one way of phrasing it. You also could ask it as just flat out, hey, what is it that you offer, or what is a popular item that you're selling that I'm not buying from you? I want to hear about it. And this is where this comes from. In addition to doing retail training, I do wholesale training. And very, very interestingly, when I was visiting wholesalers, working closely with the staff, one of the things that I would hear was kind of their frustration is that they would have a customer, meaning you, a retail florist, who would historically buy over the phone, like lots of us do. It's convenient and it's easy. But then when that flower shop owner would come into the wholesale location, inevitably it's like, holy cow, I didn't know you had this and I didn't know you had that. And they're buying armfuls of stuff, like doubling and tripling their orders. Now, there are 2 sides to every story. So I said, well, part of the reason is that you're not offering it to them, and you need to do that. If you're not offering it to them, they can't buy it. So it goes back and forth. Obviously, wholesalers are making many calls. Wholesalers have a lot of product that they want to carry, and they probably are a little too focused maybe on simply offering to you what you historically buy because they know that's going to be a guaranteed sale. But nevertheless, you don't have to beat it to death, but whether you're working with them face-to-face or more likely over the phone, or for that matter through email, just throw this idea out there. And not just to people you're buying flowers from, everything, people you're buying vases from, any other products or services. And I think you're going to be very, very pleasantly surprised. So from here on in, what I'm going to do after I present an idea, you're going to see an icon pop up like this, like a microphone. And that's kind of my visual cue to everybody. Hey, jump in, unmute. If you have a comment, you have a question, share. So there's the microphone. So if you have a comment or a thought, please unmute and share. Think it's a good idea, a bad idea, whatever you think.
Hi, this is Sherry from Michigan.
Hey,
I have a sales rep who will take pictures and send to me like every other week of what's in the cooler.
that's good.
And
That's
that
good.
gives you a good idea of what they have and what's in there at least, especially with the changing of the seasons.
Sure, and I see that happen a lot. Unfortunately, I don't know. Do you feel that just from that picture you can really get nitty gritty and see everything that they've got?
No, but at least it's a good start.
Yeah, no, I agree. But my advice, we can talk about it next month, see how it goes, is try this idea of that question. Just